So here we go. Now we've gone ahead, we've got our mid-tone gray, our black, and our white. I want to go ahead and pump in some darker gray and some lighter gray into this picture. And again, keep it sloppy looking. That's absolutely okay. We are not blending. We're not the least bit worried about it. Now mine's still a little bit wet, so it might blend a little bit as we go along. If yours is already bone dry and you're just picking it up the next day, that's totally fine too. We are not blending. We're just placing shapes of value. That's all we're doing, shapes of value. You can absolutely do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over. I've got kind of a medium-sized brush ready to go. I've already mixed up my darker gray and my lighter gray. If I need to mix up more, it's very easy. I'll grab my palette knife and do so. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on in here. I've got my iPad set up on the side, and I'm gonna go ahead and start placing some of my medium, light gray, dark grays, and just start to kind of soften this picture. Be very careful as you go along. You are allowed to paint over your black. You're allowed to paint over your white. Add a lot of good values into this thing. You don't have to be overly concerned, but be careful as you go along. If you feel like you're losing the picture, take a big step back, take a break, go for a walk, come back again. You can always save everything simply by letting that paint dry and fixing it. So let's go ahead into fast forward motion here and hey guys, all right, so that was a good amount of painting, but really only like 20 minutes of real time. You can see how quickly I'm going. I'm not overthinking things. I messed up a couple times and I tried to go back and fix it. Everyone makes mistakes and you're gonna do the same thing, but that doesn't mean you can't fix yours as well. So at this point, I'm pretty happy. I've got a lot more values on the picture. I've still got some rough areas here in the highlight that I probably could just apply a plain old white to. That might kind of loosen the picture up a little bit. And I think I'm gonna pull a couple highlights back out. I think I went maybe a little bit too dark initially. A lot of times as an artist, you may go a little too dark or a little too light. We wanna kind of balance it out around this stage of the painting. There's still definitely areas that are missing lots of detail. His eyes don't totally match. And again, lots of this highlighted region I've kind of left alone. So our next step we're gonna go through and we're gonna start easing into blending. But again, blending is not gonna be this saving grace. If at this stage your picture doesn't at least somewhat resemble the Booker T. Washington picture, keep going back again. You're gonna be able to find anything that's going wrong really quickly whenever you step back from it just a little bit. Anything that you are working on at this stage at any point in time can be saved. You are not lost, I promise. You are absolutely going to be just fine. All right, guys, we are sitting pretty, we're looking good. We have got our medium gray, our light gray, our dark gray, our black, our white. We're sitting good, but it still looks kind of abstracted, right? We want to kind of soften some of these edges. Again, at this stage, if your picture is not where you want it to be, spend a little more time getting it exactly right. This is just the finishing stage. It's not going to save anything. It's just going to polish it a little bit. So what we're going to want to do is go ahead and jump on in. Again, I've got my main 5 values: white, light gray, medium gray, dark gray, and black. But I'm going to add a little bit of extra to it because I'm going to have the ability to kind of mix and match as I go along. I want to highly suggest that you don't blend on the canvas. It's going to be super tempting to just swirl your paintbrush around and hope for the best. Don't do that. What you end up with is kind of getting rid of all the hard work that we've done adding these values, and one big blob of gray remains. So instead, what I want to encourage you guys to do is, as you feel you need a different color, maybe an extra light gray or a super dark black, mix it down here on your palette. If your palette's getting a little gross, clean it off, take it over to the sink. All this paint that we're using, this acrylic paint, is all water-based, so it'll rinse away really easily. But start fresh, make sure that you're ready and good to go. Have a wide array of different paint brushes in case you need smaller brushes or bigger brushes, and we're gonna be jumping back and forth here a little bit. I will talk to you guys a little bit towards the end, but I'll go ahead and hit the fast forward button and make this painting come to life. Alright, so at this point I'm nearly finished with some of his skin. I want to go back and touch up his eyes still. Get a little bit more crisp of an edge here on the outside. Maybe clean up that chin a little bit still. It feels a little weaker than his actual chin. But a couple quick tips that are going to really help you out. So one, as you're going along, if you feel that there's a big separation in the values, if you feel like you can see clearly from the black of his lips to the white of his jowls there, and you don't like that harsh edge, all you need to do is make a medium gray or in between those two values, whatever they happen to be, and that will instantly soften them. So again, mix your paint and apply it. Try your best not to get these little scratches like I was doing. Also, something else you want to take into account is this concept of a crescendo. Many years ago, I had a really good artist friend of mine give me this idea, and I totally have stolen it wholesale. So whenever you are painting, think about what your focal point is. In my case, maybe I want it to be this eye in the shadows. I'm going to make sure that that eye has the most detail. I'm going to use my finest paintbrushes on there and get everything clean and crisp. And steadily, as I get away from that focal point, I'm going to let things keep getting more and more abstract, or less detailed for that matter. So for example, as I get further out towards like his collar here, or his kind of shirt, or even his bow tie, I might just leave it like it is. I don't feel any need to clean that up whatsoever, because who's ever going to care about the detail on the lapel? It's not that important for this particular type of painting. So slowly go through and kind of smooth out, applying more and more paint until you get kind of a skin value and detail level that you're going for. I've still got a whole lot of work left to do, so I'm going to go ahead and work on that. But you go ahead and work on yours as well, because at this point, you don't need any more instruction, you just need time. So quit watching me, go jump on your painting and make something amazing. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to email me or talk to me in person, and we'll make sure that you end up with your very first awesome black and white portrait of Booker T. Washington. Our next project is going to be involving taking a portrait, but then going ahead and introducing some color to it. And then after that, we'll work on our big finale. So, see you then.